There, YouTube. So this is going to be an installment on my I don't know how many part little series on natural medicine versus modern pharmaceutical drugs. And this is about chicken medicine, because I mentioned the other day that my birdies are sick. They got synovitis from being outside drinking the poop water when the snow was melting out front. So I've got them on tetracycline here. They're starting to, I'm not sure if they're getting better yet, but they will. Now, I could have prevented this all naturally. Now it's too late. I have to kind of go to the tetracycline. I've used it over the years. And I'm not saying that all pharmaceutical drugs are bad by any means. I mean, some antibiotics are miraculous. Synovitis is a bacterial and a fungal infection in these birds. But, I normally have a fan going, an exhaust fan going, all year long. Right up there, going out that window. I buy the cheap $10 fans. And they don't last very long, and that one, crapped out on me a couple months ago in the middle of the winter. I didn't replace it. And it's fine during the winter when everything's frozen. All that bacteria is frozen, the birds do fine. But then everything melts down and that bacteria wakes up and they go outside and they drink the poop water. So, and then when I close the door at night, it gets damp in here. So, it was my fault that they got sick, and now I kind of have to use the antibiotics. If I was on top of it, which I'm going to try to be from now on, I would have had that exhaust fan going. And I wouldn't have let them out to drink poop water when the snow started melting. And then the other thing is, in their drinking water, I would be putting kombucha or apple cider vinegar, which will help their immune systems. So, years ago, I used to, when I brewed a lot of kombucha, I was selling it at farmers markets. And I was brewing it in these big 7-gallon steel containers. And I'm going to go into kombucha in one of my next little installments on this. It's awesome stuff. I've been brewing it like 10 years, and it's if you don't know what it is, it's a fermented tea. And I'm going to have a Zora Chase and a rooster. I'm going to talk about kombucha more in another episode, but anyway, so these chickens are on antibiotics right now. It could have been prevented if I was more proactive. But years ago, I had a bunch of meat birds that were getting sick, and I started putting kombucha in their water all the time, and it really made a huge difference. They stopped getting sick, and then also I put the vitamins and electrolytes in. But right now, I'm not selling kombucha at the farmers markets. I keep a couple gallon jars going for myself, so I don't really have the extra to be putting in the chickens' water right now. I may start brewing more to start putting it in their water again. Live apple cider vinegar is really good for them too. But similar to kombucha, but I think the kombucha's got a lot more going on. There's different acids and different vitamins. And actually, for myself, I use live apple cider vinegar and I drink kombucha every day. So, yeah, no, these chickens right now are on the pharmaceutical antibiotics, and they work, and I'm happy to have them. But I probably could have prevented this synovitis if I had been more on my game and had that fan going like normally I do. And this isn't the greatest chicken house. It's an old hoop house, and the guy I rented from used to have meat birds in here, and you can see all the insulations kind of coming down. The birds get up in there, and they've been ripping it down. And I gotta spend some time on this house and get it fixed up a little bit. But chickens are chickens, whatever. They don't they don't really care how it looks so much, as long as it does what they want. But right now, they've ripped all this bubble wrap type of insulation down. They get up in there. The meat, when this other guy had those white meat birds, they were, those things are, if you know anything about those white Cornish crosses, they just kind of sit there. They don't do anything. They're not even like chickens really, but they grow really fast. But these are laying hens. So they get up and they cause trouble when they can. So yeah, if you want to prevent synovitis in your chickens, make sure that your house is clean and that it breathes real good and doesn't get damp. And then for preventive stuff, like I say, kombucha or apple cider vinegar in the water would have helped, and have a good exhaust fan, which are things I haven't done, so they got sick. and don't let them outside when there's poop puddles. So yeah, that's my little talk about chicken synovitis and stuff, because I mentioned it the other day, and hopefully these guys will all get better here pretty soon. And I put flat Earth in the title because I'm going to talk about human medicine and stuff too. If I haven't, I don't know what order I'm going to do these installments. But part of the globe Earth is that we're they have us imprisoned in this slave system, and part of that is they got everybody mind controlled to think that pharmaceutical drugs and doctors know everything, and the M.D. does not stand for medical doctor; it stands for medical deity. They're like gods, but the God gave us everything we need to cure ourselves in nature between plants and food and our diet and different herbs and roots and things. We cure anything if we just know what to use for what problem, which I'm going to get into in a few episodes. But they're curing cancer. You can cure pretty much any kind of cancer and prevent it with the right diet. But if the cancer goes too far, and you're too late, then. But in general, there's food and diets for everything that'll cure everything, and God created everything for us. And part of this slave system of the globe Earth is the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry, and so that's why I put flat Earth in here, because flat Earth is liberating, and ultimately, as I know, and hopefully, maybe some others will know, and others do know, but the truth will set you free. The knowledge of the truth will set you free. So knowing about the flat Earth is a truth, and so it's the beginning of setting you free. So Jesus is the ultimate freedom, as far as I'm concerned, and that's maybe not everybody that's watching this knows that, and maybe someday they will, and if not, well, whatever. I'm just throwing it out there. But that's why I put flat Earth in here, and I'm gonna put flat Earth in the other parts. I'm gonna talk about a few other medical issues, but the globe Earth is a prison, and flat Earth is the beginning of freeing yourself out of that prison. And part of the prison is this pharmaceutical industry and the medical system that we have now, and the doctors aren't even, they're just drug pushers is what they are. So. Alright, yeah, if you want to keep your chickens healthy, make sure you got a good exhaust fan. Don't let them drink poop water. And put some kombucha in their water. Alright, love you guys.